think the last decade has seen a radical shift in Canadian foreign policy from what was once primarily peacekeeping efforts towards a policy more of Wilsonian imperialism, that is the concept of making the world safe for democracy. So I was not a fan of our peacekeeping efforts. I feel that it's presumptuous for us to think that we can impose order in foreign nations, that we can, pick the right side to intervene on. I don't think that should be the purpose of our military, if we should indeed have a military. And I question the putting our soldiers in danger by, sort of tossing them between two hostile camps and saying, stand there and get shot at. So, but what we've seen more recently with the Canadian participation in the invasion and occupation of Afghanistan, and now our contribution towards NATO's efforts in Libya, is we're moving beyond peacekeeping into the idea of nation building, regime change, and outright launching of aggressive wars against foreign nations that pose no threat to us. So the proper Canadian foreign policy is one of non-intervention in the affairs of other nations, specifically with regard to military interventions. I think our occupation and invasion of Afghanistan is illegal under international law and immoral. I think that Harper, for choosing to wage this war, has committed the same offense which the Nazis were tried at Nuremberg for, which is, quote, waging an offensive war, end quote. It is incredibly obvious to any neutral outside observer that the Afghani people pose no threat to us. Afghanistan is an agrarian nation, their main export being poppy seeds for heroin. They had no industrial base, no capacity, no ability nor desire to wage war with us. So when we invaded their country, it was completely illegitimate, and we must condemn the occupation in the strongest possible terms. Our current efforts to oust Gaddafi in Libya are equally foolhardy. We build resentment towards Canada across the world by participating in these interventions, and it's actually a grave threat to our national security, because by going abroad and bombing other countries, we're going to build a great wave of hostility towards Canada for Canadian foreign policy. Also, it's extremely expensive to build these weapons of war. For example, the Canadian government has recently made plans to purchase a number of jet fighters at a cost, estimates ranging between $15 billion and $60 billion a year. This is at a time when our nation is in a huge amount of debt. And I think that, if anybody is serious about cutting taxes, you have to be serious about cutting spending. And the best way to do that is in the military budget. We don't need new jet fighters. We should be looking at scaling down military expenditures, not financing the military-industrial complex during tax dollars. So I do think that Canadian foreign policy needs radical change away from sort of the Bush doctrine of preventative war and towards a policy of non-intervention in the affairs of others.